Have you ever bought any fragrances blind that you've hated? Well, I have. I'm sure you have too. But today in this video, I have 6 fragrances that I bought blind, most during the pandemic, that I despise. If you want to find out what they are, please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Right, today I'm talking about 6 blind buys gone bad. One of them I actually spoke about to you on Friday with my review for California Dream, but there are 5 others. Unfortunately, these are all designer fragrances and I don't like the way they smell. So some of you are going to probably hate me for doing this video because you might be fans of this, but just think about it. When I hate a fragrance and I kind of complain about it, it's not your family, it's not your brother, it's not your sister, your mom or dad, it's just a freaking fragrance. Just like you might not like pizza or ice cream or some kind of a food or something, I hate some fragrances sometimes, and these are the ones that I hate currently, and especially the fact that I bought them blind. Anyway, you're going to find out what they are very soon, but if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. Yeah, I do blind buy a lot, especially during the pandemic. I've been buying quite a bit here and there. I've been doing videos, and actually a lot of them are pretty darn good, and I only put the video together like this because the blind buys are really bad. These fragrances are really bad and I don't care for them. I mean, there might be some that I bought here and there that were not to my liking, but they've been okay. I don't appreciate it, but it's not a bad fragrance. For me, these fragrances are pretty bad. I don't know what I was thinking of buying some of these, but I decided to buy them, and you know, they went bad. First one, as I mentioned, is the one that I told you about recently. On Friday, I did the review for Louis Vuitton's California Dream, this one right here. So sadly, this one, when you spray it and when you smell it out of the bottle and when you first spray it on, it reminds me of their other fragrance, Le Jour Célèbre. Now I have a full review of that fragrance on the channel. Go check it out, because if you like this a little bit and you hate the part that I was telling you that is very sharp and like really biting, because once the fragrance sprays on, it's very juicy and you know, refreshing with mandarin, and then it completely changes on me and goes really hard and metallic and sharp. But if you like that first part with the fragrance, you should try the fragrance Le Jour Célèbre. It's also from this house. In fact, when I first spray this or smell it out of the bottle, it totally reminds me of that fragrance. Whereas that fragrance gets really beautifully citrusy, fruity, floral, this one just completely changes direction. And that's kind of why I don't care for this one, because it really is an uncomfortable wear. Whereas I'm expecting this fresh, refreshing citrus fragrance, but it gives me something completely different. I've been wearing a bit more of this after I shot that video a week or so ago. I just made it live last Friday, but you know, I have a feeling there's other things that they've put in this fragrance, or the perfumer has put in this fragrance to make it smell like this. Because for me, ambrette, I love ambrette note, because this one is mostly about mandarin oranges, ambrette seeds, and also benzoin. So those notes, I absolutely love those notes. I don't know what's causing it, but I feel like there's either like some kind of aromatic notes, herbal notes that become hard against some of the citruses, or maybe there's even some like very sharp woody notes as well that they're not really crediting as far as a notes credits for this fragrance. But in the end, it's not one of my favorite fragrances, sadly, and I was expecting a lot more, especially for the fact that it was called California Dream. Anyway, that's that. This next one is Dolce & Gabbana's The One Intense, this one right here. Now, I'm ranking these fragrances from least worst blind buy, and it's going to go up to the worst blind buy at the top. So at least at the bottom, I'm tolerating the fragrances, but the closer we get to the top, the less I'm going to be really loving those fragrances, and in fact, I'm hating them. But in the end, Dolce & Gabbana's The One Intense is a decent fragrance. Is it a great fragrance? It's not. It's just interesting that they came up with this fragrance, because they've got so many flankers now of this fragrance, give us something more original and give us something unique. Because when I first got this, I was enjoying it, but the more I wore it, I'm like, this is kind of like just boring. Really doesn't really go anywhere. It does kind of remind me of the original, but then it doesn't. There's something also sour in here that kind of starts reminding me of all other designer fragrances that are very, very popular. In fact, 3 of the fragrances, or even 4 of the fragrances in this list, actually this one does, and then the 3 at the top also does, sort of remind me. There's just something that they use in these designer fragrances that has this kind of like sour, amber, woods, aquatic combo. So whenever they use this kind of like combination of notes, it just really, really, really smells synthetically bad for me. I guess the first time I smelled it in something like Paco Rabanne's Invictus, I couldn't stand that fragrance. It just smelled like really, really chemically messy kind of synthetic soup almost. Like, it was not something I enjoyed. In fact, on the previous channel, I had a really, really negative review on that fragrance. I haven't re-reviewed it, obviously, because I don't want to, but that's the first time I smelled this, like, really, really sour smelling, you know, aquatic woods, ambers, just kind of almost to the point of like smelling sour dish rag. I don't know. Does that sound pleasant to you? I don't care for that smell, and that's the first time I smelled it. Now it's appearing in a lot of different fragrances, and I can pick it up here a little bit. But this one's actually pretty tolerable. Even the Louis Vuitton is pretty tolerable, even though it's a bad blind buy. I can live with it, but the closer we get up to the top, the less I'm gonna like. So in the end, this one is okay. Do you need this flanker? No. You can go with the one EDP. I think that one's fine. And my favorite is Mysterious Night, or even the royal one with the Arabic writing is also decent. It kind of has this oud-y-like quality, even though there's no oud notes credited in there. But this one, I feel like it's just not necessarily. I don't care for it. You might like it. Again, this is all very subjective. I'm telling you about fragrances I don't like today that are bad blind buys. Okay, this next one is Gucci Guilty pour Homme Eau de Parfum, this one right here. So this one, I really love the way the bottle looked. The bottle looks really, really sexy, frosted black. And I've been a fan of the Gucci fragrances as of late, but the one that came before this, the Love Edition, or I can't remember, the one with ginger in the green bottle, that one was okay, but it was not like wow. Here, we're going into that kind of like, I don't know, very, very not thought out kind of a designer. But I feel like I should have known about this one, because in the end, they're basically giving us an EDP of the original Gucci Guilty, which I was never a fan of. So I kind of should have known or thought about it before I bought this. But the reason I wanted this one is because it has rose in a male fragrance. It's orange blossom, which I love. Then there was this introduction of the balsamic vinegar note in here and chili. But the end result, it's not anything to write home about. It's okay, but it's not like, wow, this is great, I love it, and I can't wait to wear it. It's not Gucci Guilty Absolute, which I love. It's not the cologne from Gucci Guilty. It's not even the oud or even the female Gucci Guilty Absolute Parfum. This one just kind of falls flat for me, and it's just not for me. It starts smelling like the original Gucci Guilty Absolute, which, again, I was never a fan of, and I should never have bought this one. But this is Gucci Guilty pour Homme Eau de Parfum. I'm tired of this series. Give us something new. Give us something great. Got a great creative director at Gucci. Come up with something very unique for us. Maybe bring back Gucci Envy. Maybe bring back Gucci Rush. I can't wait for those. Anyway, so this next one is one that I thought to myself, I love this. I want to get it. It kind of reminds me of more like a India, the tiger and everything like that with the label. You know, not. I guess I should say artwork, Indian artwork. But anyway, this is CH Beasts. I should never have bought this. Why did I even buy this? The original CH Men is nice. I like the sugar leather thing. And I also like CH Men Privé. I like the boozy sugar leather thing. Here, it's that weird kind of combo of notes of amber, aquatic, woods, kind of synthetic smelling. In addition to the sugar and the sugar and the leather that's typically found in CH Men, the fragrance. So in the end, it starts off kind of smelling like that cheap synthetic smelling amber woods aquatic thing. Kind of gets better and better and starts smelling more like the CH Men, the original. But do I want to sit through that kind of like synthetic smelling aquatic woods, you know, amber kind of thing? It's not a pleasant smell. I've never been a fan of it, and it's definitely prominent here, and it's present. Now again, this is all very subjective. I might hate a fragrance you might like, you might hate a fragrance I might like, so we should all kind of be okay to say what we hate, but I really do not like this one. And now that I have the bottle, it's a little tacky. It does remind me of, like, you know, the tiger is kind of used in Indian artwork, and I see it in their, you know, media and things like that, for films and things like that. So I kind of thought it would be cool, but I should never have bought this. Have you guys tried this? Do you know it? Do you a fan of the CH Men series? Let me know. Put the comment down so I can find out. So this next one I reviewed earlier in this year. I picked them up during the pandemic, of course. I bought the male version and the female version, and I'm only talking about the male version here because the female version I actually really enjoy and actually have featured in the Fresh Floral Fragrances video. But this from Mugler is Mugler Alien Man Mirage. Oh man, it is not very pleasant smelling. Now, it doesn't hint at the original Alien Man, but it does a little bit. But here they're going into an aquatic direction, completely aquatic. So they have watery notes, they have reed. Reed is kind of a growth, like a tall, bushy kind of growth along with the water. And then there's leather here, patchouli and juniper. So it all kind of sounded great as a fragrance. That's why I bought it, but it just doesn't smell that great, guys. Especially when I put it on, it goes fully aquatic on me with a little hint of the original Alien Man, which the original Alien Man is nice. It's not like any groundbreaking fragrance. I enjoy it, but this is not that. This is completely different, absolutely different, and I'm completely unsatisfied with it. And it's a really, really bad, terrible, terrible blind buy. I'm happy with the Alien Mirage for women, but this one's not. If you guys like the Alien series for women, I highly recommend you try the Mirage, the Alien Mirage for women. It's a great, great fresh floral fragrance. But this particular Alien Man Mirage just totally is disappointing. I hope, now that they are part of L'Oreal, that we are going to see some great fragrances come forward with this house. But speaking of L'Oreal, the next fragrance that we have here used to be part of Puig, the brand. Now it is part of L'Oreal, and they've given us this piece of crap. Excuse my language. This is one of the worst fragrances I've ever smelled. In fact, it really does remind me of some of those fragrances that I was telling you about. It reminds me of those like kind of aquatic amber woods kind of thing, where a lot of designers are using it, and you can smell from one fragrance to the other that this note or synthetic accord is present in all these fragrances. I'm talking about Valentino UOMO Born in Roma. Man, this is bad. This is, it doesn't smell pleasant to me at all. Absolutely not. What have they done to the original Valentino UOMO series? Because that was great. The original, the intense, even the one that's sandalwoody, I think it's called Absolute. Great, great designer fragrances. But here, Valentino, as I said, was part of Puig. They moved on to L'Oreal, and this is what they've given us, which is really, really disappointing. This was a really bad blind buy. In fact, out of all of the fragrances I'm talking to you about, this was the worst. Even though I don't like the other fragrances, I think this is probably the one that I don't like at all. In fact, I don't even want to put this fragrance on me because it does not smell pleasant at all. Anyway, this is Valentino UOMO Born in Roma. One more thing I want to say, again, we spoke about subjectivity, and everybody has their opinion. You might like a fragrance, I might not like. I might like a fragrance, you might not like. So let's please respect each other for fragrances we like and do not like. But I do want to say something else here. Some of the fragrances that are mentioned here today in this video are created by great perfumers. But you see some of them create great fragrances outside of the designer world. And some fragrances in the designer world, they create things that are like, what the hell were they thinking? Well, it's not the perfumers themselves. For me, I don't think we should blame the perfumers. We should blame the designers, because this is the kind of brief they would give the perfumer to create something like this. That's really disappointing. The designers go through these massive, massive focus groups and tests and see what's popular out there, what's selling, yada, yada, yada. And this is what they give us. I mean, the masses might like this, but us true perfume aficionados I don't know. Do you guys wear these? Just kind of where I'm heading with this this whole thing. Do you like fragrances like this? Are you fans of fragrances like this? Are you okay for me to say these are bad, these are not fragrances I would wear, and respect my opinion? And then also for you to say some of the fragrances I wear. I mean, probably a lot of you do not like some of the expensive niche fragrances I wear. I wear a lot of different things and you might hate it, but I'm not going to tell you you suck or whatever because you said it. Because I receive so many negative comments from you guys when I hate a fragrance. I don't understand it. It's my opinion. I think everybody has opinions. Respect mine and I'll respect yours. You know what I mean? But for me, these 5, actually 6 fragrances were really bad blind buys, with my number 1 being the worst. I just actually cannot put that fragrance on me because for me it smells pretty darn terrible. Anyway, now that I have this off my shoulders, what do you guys think of these fragrances? Are you a fan of them? Do you like them? Have you tested out California Dream yet? Do you like the fragrance? Do you see that whole sharpness and the corner it turns goes in a complete different direction from what it starts out as? Let me know. And if you're a fan of something that I spoke about today, please tell me you like it, and give me a reason why you like it, not just, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about because I hate these fragrances kind of thing. I like to know why you guys like some of the fragrances. The other thing I want to say before we leave, I'm hoping that by watching some of the videos that I do here and my highlighting of inexpensive fragrances and cheap fragrances and also designers and all that good stuff, if all you have access to are the fragrances that you would find at a department store, things like that, some of the inexpensive fragrances that I recommend have been tested by me and they're proven by me. That's why I'm recommending them. Like yesterday we saw the H&M video. In that video there are 3 or 4 that are pretty darn good. For me, the sandalwood became my number 1 favorite. Absolutely love the sandalwood in that video. I mean, in that collection from H&M. The patchouli is also great. The vanilla is also great, and the ylang ylang is also great. Now, the rose is okay. The papyrus and then the vetiver are my least favorites from that collection. Not sure what happened, but those are some great fragrances, and if you can get them for sale at 23 bucks for a 50 ml, I feel like they're pretty darn good quality for what you get. And also, if you just get them for full price, if you do 100 ml, it's only going to be about 60 bucks for 2 bottles at 50 ml. Anyway, those are some long ranting things, but I hope you're okay with this video. I might do a few more videos in the future for past bad blind buys, because I buy a lot of fragrances obviously, and there are some bad blind buys that I have that I just don't do anything about. If you want more bad blind buy videos, please put a comment down so I can find out, and we'll do more in the future. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching today. Please do like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.